Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm here with Tate Mathews. Tate, football's shaping up. Region golf is in the books, and maybe not surprise of the week, but once again, I say something, I have to go back and say, well, I got to change my mind. A big curveball in volleyball this past week.
Big curveball. It's all in disarray.
It's in big time disarray. Hey, and I don't guess I want to spoil the surprise here, but there could be a little different look from the show next week with the state golf tournament coming up.
As in, like, on location?
I think it's in play.
That would be big time.
Sure, our fans out there
Are we going
would
to
love
talk in British accents? Or?
Well, hopefully WCS will put the smackdown on the rest of the state like the United States did against the Europeans in the Ryder Cup this past weekend.
I think it'll happen.
I think so too.
Hey, I'm excited about that too.
I'm very excited. Hey, the region tournament last week at Two Rivers. Obviously, we had the district tournament the week before. We have the region at Two Rivers this past week. Congratulations to the BRENTWOOD boys and the RAVENWOOD girls. They win the region championships. Their entire teams now qualify for the state championship October 4th and 5th. On the girls' side, Page finishes 4th, Franklin 3rd, RAVENWOOD 1st. But we still had some individuals make it. So the way this works, the teams make it, and then you can make it as an individual. The top 3 not on those teams make it to the state tournament. Piper Davis, Independence, finishes 3rd. Brooke Brummett, Brentwood finishes 2nd. They had a playoff to determine 2nd and 3rd. And the winner, no surprise, Sophia DePaulo with her 2nd region title. Tate, she won it as a freshman and now as a junior. Did not win it as a sophomore.
Pretty strong.
Very strong. Very strong. And then, hey, Teddy Craig, I spent time. Listen, he's nervous as a cat out there at the matches, and I love riding with Coach Craig out there on the course. It's fun.
Yeah. He is. It's definitely a fun way to watch the match. He's not your traditional golf coach, right? Baseball coach by trade that's what he's known for. But he's got a great. I love his outlook during the game because he looks at it from a coach. You know what I'm saying?
He does.
It's not necessarily coming from a golfer's point of view, but sharp guy, man. He likes competitors, whether it's on the golf course or the baseball diamond. And
on the boys' side, and again, we knew this was going to happen. Touch and go all year. It could have been 2 or 3 different teams win it. RAVENWOOD in with the shot. Franklin in with the shot. But the one that mattered, again, one team makes it in those individuals. Brentwood comes up big. A 3-stroke victory over Franklin, who finished 2nd. RAVENWOOD finished 3rd, another 4 shots back. Tough competition in golf, Tate, as always.
3-stroke, that's not much, right? That's tight.
No, over 4 golfers.
Yeah.
4 scores count, so less than a stroke a golfer.
Tight match.
Very tight. What about on the individual side there, Tate? We had Grant Clark of Page. He'll qualify as an individual because, like Sophia, he's the region champion. He shot a 70. Luke Beatles from Nolensville. Shout out to Coach Ladd. I believe it's the first individual to make it. Obviously, it was coaching.
Without a doubt.
Coach Ladd coming through.
Coach Ladd just comes in and just nothing but a winner, man. That's just what he does.
Nothing but a winner. Hey, and then 3rd, it's a little disappointed for our man Chubbs Wild out there at Page. He goes to a playoff with Harrison Acres. But really, listen, Chubbs is a freshman. He's got plenty of time. Harrison Acres of Franklin, a senior. It's his last shot at glory, so it's hard to be too disappointed about Harrison making it also. But they had a playoff. They went out and replayed. I think it was 1. And Harrison gets a par. Chubbs gets a bogey. Harrison qualifies for state. But again, great showings.
Congratulations, Harrison. And I noticed Chubbs getting a little Twitter love out there from the Main Street or the Nashville media.
That's right, our man Tyler.
Yep.
Tyler knows what's going on in WCS.
He's paying attention. He's paying attention.
We appreciate that too. Tate, let's talk about volleyball. So last week we're talking, okay, Brentwood has no losses. RAVENWOOD's got a couple of losses. Nolensville's got a couple. So it's over.
Nope.
Not so fast, my friend. What happens last week, Tate?
Well, RAVENWOOD goes in and gets a sweep of Brentwood, correct?
Unbelievable.
3 games. And then Nolensville comes in and gets a sweep of Brentwood, 3 games. So now we all have 2 losses, correct? So we got what we call a little bit of a log jam up at the top.
So if I'm not mistaken now, it comes down to sets, won or lost. Here's what I think's happening. If everybody wins out, that means Ravenwood wins the district.
Wow.
And Brentwood and Nolensville would play in the semis, loser leave town. Over. So, but look, I'm not predicting anything. Maybe somebody will get upset this week. But if it ended today, I believe it's Ravenwood 1 based on what I was telling you, 2 and 3, and somebody's out.
And one of those would be a state championship streak would be ended.
In the district.
It's pretty tough to.
Abby West doing a good job out there at Ravenwood.
Yeah.
You know, we talk a lot about Brentwood, Nolensville, but she's done a solid job. Hey, that Brentwood, that win for Ravenwood over Brentwood, the first win for Ravenwood over Brentwood in 8 years, a 27-match losing streak to Brentwood. And listen, Ravenwood's been good.
Oh, yeah.
Beat them 27 times. It also snapped a 94-match Brentwood district regular season winning streak. And here's the gem, Tate. September 17th, 2013, it was a 5-set loss to the Lady Raptors. That's the last time Brentwood had lost to Ravenwood.
That is domination. That's crazy.
It really is.
Because again, it's not like we're playing in the county dump league and there's no good region opponents.
Who are some matchups we might get in, like a county dump matchup? We don't need to disclose, do we?
For those, if you know, you know. There's the county dump, the city dump, the country dump. I don't want to call names.
Our man DP, who I know is watching out there, he knows, right?
He knows exactly. He might have even worked at a dump or two. But this is against big-time volleyball district opponents. And the last time they lost one was 2013.
It's incredible.
That's almost, no.
It's 8 years.
That's 2 graduating classes.
Somebody was in the 4th grade the last time that now they're seniors. You know, the other thing, too, and again, great job by Nolensville beating Brentwood. It's not like Brentwood was playing bad. You know, they won that tournament the weekend before.
Yeah.
It's the first time that Brentwood has lost consecutive matches of any kind since 2017.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that was probably a weekend tournament or one of those kind of deals. And they've won 9 straight district tournaments.
And Ravenwood probably won that last one, right?
I'm
Sure they did.
Surely. It's really, it's something that it surprised me a little bit, but I guess I'm really not surprised if I thought about it because they're all great teams. I do want to give a shout out to Ravenwood. Kennedy Riggs had a nice match there against Brentwood with 23 assists. Reagan Larkin, a name we've mentioned, another big match with 9 kills and 2 blocks. Bella Lepore, 23 digs. Sister Avery with 11 digs. Reagan Grimes keeps getting it done. Ellie Kemple, 3 kills, 3 blocks. And then in the Nolensville win, Maggie Rickert, again, another young lady that keeps getting it done with 17 kills. Lauren Johnson, Ellie Tate, both had 20 assists. Avery Young, there's a name we've been mentioning for years, 13 kills in that particular matchup. Hey, also, sometimes we forget this, District 12 AAA, Summit defeats Page in 5 sets. Independence defeated Columbia in 3. So now Summit and Independence play this week. Winner is regular season district champion. And no one, I mean no one, is happier that the league is now set up like it is more than Summit and Independence. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's like, hey, you guys have a good time. We'll see you in the region.
I think they feel that way about the soccer as well. So, but yes,
Like, this is great.
they're like, I think when the pairing or the divisions came out, they were like, "Is this right?
We'd love to stay together. We're
We
gonna go
can't
with
be
it."
this lucky."
Hey, speaking of soccer, Tate, what'd you think about the whole Page couldn't play Giles?
Yep.
And I think, you know, it was legit. Both teams were undefeated. We wanted to have that big football matchup, but it was homecoming for Page, and now Giles can't play. What happens? Page ends up picking up Centennial. It wasn't a previously scheduled game, and they play a soccer match that night. I thought that was great.
I thought it was very cool.
And Coach Rathbone was a part of that.
Man, Coach, we've talked about that for years. Coach Rathbone's a school guy, man.
He is.
You know, he loves those kids, but he loves Page High School.
He does.
And so that doesn't surprise me at all. But, yeah, Friday night.
They had homecoming events.
The crowd on the turf.
Yeah.
Man, those young ladies will remember that for a long, long time. Very cool. And they got a big win.
They did get a big win, 1-0 over Centennial. Page now is 11-1-1 on the year, and I thought this was pretty cool. Anna Baker scored the only goal in the match, but then sisters Caitlin and Kyla Davis, I believe this was at halftime, they were part of the homecoming festivities, part of the homecoming court. So they go get changed and do the deal there and then play a little bit after
They
that.
changed
I believe it was halftime, yeah. I think I read that
fantastic.
right.
Yeah, great event. Glad it could work out. And the other thing, too, I know Coach O'Connor at Giles very well. I promise you. If he could have played, he would have wanted to play. That wasn't we can escape a tail kicking here, but if he could have played, he would have wanted to play.
No question. Hey, Ravenwood, they pull off the trifecta, the three-sport Battle of the Woods sweep for Ravenwood. They win in football, they win in volleyball, and then they win 2-0 in soccer, and it wraps up the regular season district championship for Ravenwood. And I believe it was our man P. Whitty, Patrick Whitlock, that first disclosed it was a pretty good week. And then I think Coach Hester, the old visor, I think he jumped in with a little Twitter. He had the little cold face with the
Burr.
yeah.
Yeah, they put that on Twitter.
Listen, it's not a rivalry if you're totally nice all the time. I mean, we're going to be mean, but that's just stating facts.
What is it you all always say? If they're hugging your neck,
They kicking your butt. Yeah. So listen, sometimes you want to be the hunted, so to speak.
dang right. Hey, that's big for them, man. But the other schools saw that tweet too.
I bet they did too. I bet they did. And the first chance they get,
It's already typed.
it's in the Twitter draft, in the draft.
No doubt.
Franklin with the big 5-1 win over Centennial. Again, we're talking soccer. Nolensville and Indy play to a tie. Nolensville clinches the 12 AAA regular season district championship. Summit also gets a big win over Columbia Central. Now, before we talk football, Tate, last thing here. Cross country, and we're going to talk middle school cross country. Why is that? For those of you that are out there, this is the first year that our WCS middle schools have been part of the TSSAA. It's TMSAA at that level, M for middle school. So the first event that we're part of a state championship, there are 5 state championships in TMSAA. Boys and girls cross country, boys and girls basketball, baseball, softball, boys and girls track. Got a feeling we're going to do pretty well in those. Certainly we did this past week. The top 8 teams by class, and we've got some schools that are single A, we have some that are double A. They advance to the state championship. That's 7 runners for the top 8 teams. That's 56 runners, and then the 10 best finishers. So let's talk a little Class A here. Class A girls, champion, Legacy, runner-up, Thompson Station, 6th place, Fairview. So all 3 schools that fielded a full team all made it to the state championship. Individual champions, shout out to Larkin Johnson of Legacy. On the boys' side, the team champion, Thompson Station, 3rd, Legacy, 7th, Fairview, 8th, Hillsboro. Individual runner-up, Dylan Lookingbill from Legacy. I'm excited about it, Tate.
Oh, without a doubt. Very well represented. And that's just Class A.
Yeah, what about Class AA there, Tate? Tell the audience out there how we did on the girls' side.
It was a sweep, and it was a sweep on the north end. By the way, the south end of the county taking care of business in the Class A group, and then in the Class AA group, the Vikings and Lady Vikings of Brentwood Middle come away with the championship in both of those. And my guess is it was probably in a little bit of a dominating fashion. But congratulations to both the Lady Vikings and the Vikings that are the champions. On the girls' side, or the ladies' side, Page was 4th, Woodland 5th, Mill Creek 6th, Grassland 7th. right?
That's right. So all those teams.
They're all in.
And I know Paul Brees watches every week. He's very excited about being part of TMSAA. Boys and girls at Grassland also made it. Speaking of the boys, Woodland was 2nd, Grassland 4th, Page 6th, Spring Station 7th, Sunset 8th. And then we had some individuals make it. Speaking of which, again, we're talking AA. Runner-up are Nigella Smith of Page. It's on the girls' side. 3rd, Leah Banavac of Brentwood. Then on the boys' side, 3rd place, Logan Humphreys of Mill Creek. And the winner, Keller Vaughn of Brentwood. And Tate, listen, I did a little informal research when I was out there. I talked to folks from about 5 or 6 schools, introduced myself as the district athletic director. No surprise, no one recognized me or knew that that was even a position, apparently. But talked to some folks out there and just said, hey, what do you think about this? And they said, listen, we are so excited. What a chance to be a part of something bigger than just the county, and then to run against different people. And listen, if there's going to be a championship, we need to be part of it, they said.
No doubt about it, because we've got some of the best runners, and that's always fun to go out and run against people. We always go against each other and we compete against each other, and I understand it makes sense. But yeah, to go and see what's out there, the rest of them, I think that's great. And you were in Hendersonville. I'm sure Captain Summer Camp at Gallatin was there. I'm cheering on your team, so I'm glad he was there to watch the WCS dominance as well. I'm sure he had a lot of positive things to say, but I think that's great. I love it.
You know, I love this too when they were giving out the awards.
I know Brentwood had fun. Legacy had fun. Thompson Station had fun.
Oh, they did. They did. The excitement was there. It was so fun to see that. And then they'll run this weekend, October the 2nd, out in Clarksville, and I think we'll do pretty well.
I do too.
Hey, let's talk a little football. Oh, I wanted to mention this before we get to football. I think it's the 7-time Music City Marathon champion. Scott Wyteka did a great job running the cross-country event. He's the head coach at Beach High School. They do a great job. Well, T.W. Hunter's the feeder school, and I noticed their girls finished 2nd, and when he announced it, he said, and by a lot, Brentwood wins it. And he also mentioned, which I thought was pretty funny, he said, you know, this is kind of a bigger sectional now. There'll be some push to maybe split this next year. I got a feeling we won't be with them.
No. Whatever the cutoff is, they're going to be just under it.
I loved it. I really did. All right, let's talk a little football, Tate. Week 6, Brentwood, a big win over Hillsboro in a homecoming game, 31-7. Got a prediction for you, Tate. They're getting ready to get on a roll. I mean, I don't think, it's like breaking news, but this is their 2nd win. They're going to start piling up wins, Brentwood is.
Hey, man, we've talked about it. They're better than what people thought. You saw that in the Ravenwood game, I think. And then, Hillsboro is there. I really like Coach Anthony Brown. I think he's going to do a great job there. Got that job late. No excuses there. All I'm saying is that's an athletic team, and they don't let their record fool you. They flat got after them. So Brentwood's starting to find their way. They were young, you go back to the Ravenwood game, they're starting a freshman at wide receiver, they're starting a sophomore at wide receiver, and then a junior at wide receiver. And then you've got Aaron Walton, which I know you're going to talk about him in a second at Superback. But, that's 6A football, and you're starting those guys at skills positions.
Crazy.
So they're getting better. They got a half a season under them. They're starting to put points on the board. Yeah, you're right. They're getting ready to go on a run here. And we talked about it. I think there's a good chance they end up 6-4.
Hey, listen, Coach Brown, I don't know Coach Brown. I'm sure he's going to do a great job at Hillsboro, but little message for you, Coach. You might want to try to break up the Davis-Walton to Aaron Walton connection. 4 touchdowns in that particular game. Obviously, Davis and Aaron, big games as always. Scotty Collins, another big game rushing the ball. And how about Clayton, don't call me Walker, Merrill. Big game for him, too.
Freshman.
Not bad.
They saved the number 4 for him. He's number 4, and 5 receptions, 57 yards. Again, we're talking about a varsity game here. We're not talking about JV or freshman. He's going to be a player, but that's right. I don't know that you can say that quite yet. He's not, don't call me Walker yet. He's got to earn a little bit more equity.
I just meant don't call
me.
No,
I'm with you. No, I liked it.
Because he's his brother. He's like, don't be called.
That's right.
Oh, I knew your brother. Yeah. I'm sure Jackson loves hearing that, doesn't he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson and Clayton were baseball teammates. Good team.
Now listen, did you coach the team? I know sometimes you try to slip in some
I
credit.
got booted out. I was kind of like, they bring me in like kind of like motivational coach before, like when we were in
They're calling in the lefty from the bullpen.
Yeah, I'd come in and kind of give them the, let's not be intimidated by these dudes. You would have liked it.
I would have loved it. Hey, Centennial, listen, Centennial is now 4-2, and again, every game they've played has been a blowout, one way or the other. They're on the positive side of it. This time, they scored 27 unanswered points at one point, big win over Dickson County. 4 different players with rushing TDs, Kofi Boggs, Cannon Plowman, Xavier Haddix, Kanai Johnson, Tanner Lee with the big game rushing the ball, 16 carries, 124 yards. And then Mr. Do Everything, we're starting to mention his name again, Cannon Plowman, 64 passing yards, 41 rushing, 2 touchdowns. Great win for Coach Kreisky and the Cougars before this week's game.
Great win, team effort. Here's what I love. Tanner Lee, you mentioned that. 4 guys scored touchdowns. Tanner Lee got 16 carries, 124 yards, and he wasn't one of the ones that scored a touchdown. He does the bulk of the carrying. They get down there, and some other guys got to go in. Nobody cares. We're a team. We're just looking to get this victory, and they got it, and I really like it. And, Kofi Boggs, keep talking about him, sophomore. They've got some young people that are getting better. And, it was the battle of the Cougars. The Cougars from Dixon got the smack down. And
Just like old times.
That's right. Hey, just in case you forgot what it was like here. But I am a little bit disappointed in my man, Coach Kreisky. We're a few points away. I thought for sure we were going to be able to boat captain this thing.
Because 35.
35's the deal.
And it was 34.
Yeah. Came up a little short.
Came up a little short. Hey, how about this one? We talked about this being a huge region matchup. Fairview 33, White House Heritage 14 on the road. Fairview's down 14-6 at the half. And what happens? Well, Layden Grant happened, Tate. Big game for him, not only offensively, but defensively as well.
Oh, what he's doing is unbelievable. But 227 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Then he turns around and he gets 13 tackles on defense.
Did everybody hear that, by the way?
That's strong.
220, get on my back, 227, and then I'm just going to have 13 tackles. What a game.
No doubt about it. And they got a lot of guys that are doing that, that are contributing both ways. And Crawford is as well. And then he's got 9. That little 2-headed rushing attack they've got with Crawford Claxton and Layden Grant's become a heck of a deal. But he had 9 rushes, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. Turns around 4 tackles, an interception, and a fumble recovery on defense. Those 2 were everywhere.
Had a couple of wrestlers that had big nights too. Jacob Clevenger, Ken Curtis each had 12 tackles. Morgan Jean with an interception. Hey, and maybe one of the best things that happened in WCS. I know we're all so happy. Alex Melton, first-year head coach. Obviously, Franklin doesn't have the team they've had the past year especially, and I don't think that's just the truth, right?
That's what it is.
It's the truth. 0-5 entering the game. Big homecoming win over McGavick, 28-12. Coach Melton, his first win as the head coach of Franklin High School. Certainly proud of him and excited for him. And let's face it, Bryce Sparks being out didn't help.
Nope.
He's back totally now. He had a couple of touchdowns. Ashton Orton with a couple of touchdowns. I know they're excited about that game this week.
Oh, yeah. And they're playing better. And so you're right. Couldn't happen. So happy for Coach Melton, man. They don't make him any better than him. Tough year. They knew it was going to be a tough year, even with the coaching change. So great to get that monkey off their back, and they're going to do nothing but keep getting better from here on out. And they got to be, you're right, they got a big one this week.
They do. Sparks, we mentioned, 120 rushing yards. Orton, 55 rushing yards. On the defensive side, Ian Arney with 6 tackles. Alec Allen with 4, a sack, and 2 tackles for loss. Independence, another game that was close early on, but Indy ends up rolling at East Nashville 40-18. I think you predicted that. You thought it wasn't quite, again, 32 points. Didn't quite get to put the hat on.
I need to see the box score. When did those 18 points come? Guessing later, but that's okay.
How about our man Joseph Cummings? Another big game, 14 for 25, 379 yards. And listen, Jack Rummel, it's every week.
When I saw that, Chad Gates, Coach Gates, freshman coach at Independence, longtime Independence Eagle assistant, he always sends out the stats. I thought it was a typo. 9 receptions, 272 yards. I was like, that's 172. No, it's 272 yards.
It's incredible. You know what my prediction is? Here in the next week or two, you're going to see Lockwood's name show up again. Because let's face it, I mean, Rummel's great, but obviously they're focusing on Lockwood quite a bit, which I get it. Why wouldn't you? So I think, I mean, listen, coaches out there, I want to help you out. You might want to cover my man Rummel.
No doubt.
I mean, he's doing a good job. And, you know, I love it about the Indy offense. I think it's a very much take what they give you.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever they're giving us, we're going to take it.
For sure. And our man Hartwell stepped up again. Not as many yards this week, but now that thing's coming, you can't guard them all. It's kind of like, you know, what they're doing with Walton over at Brentwood. They move him around, and I'm guessing all, if not most, of those receptions for Rummel, he was in the slot. And, you know, it's just they get that matchup problem. You're out there by yourself on them, and it's hard, man. And then, you know, like we talk about, Coach Qualls, like Dr. Qualls likes to talk about it at the game days, the timing route, the 1.27 seconds. Usually those are to Rummel. And when he hits him on stride, it's tough to stop.
Listen, I was watching my favorite college team, Kentucky and South Carolina, play this weekend. And they were talking about Wandale Robinson on the wheel route, and I was like, oh boy. I hope to goodness. Hope to goodness our man's not, he probably wouldn't be watching. He's out running somewhere. Big triathlon this week for him. We're proud of him.
I hope he makes it back.
Man, I do. I really do.
I hope his wife doesn't beat him, because there's a good chance of that.
She probably will. Paula Shelton, she's going to beat him too. But, you know, we're impressed that you're doing it. Nolensville, this one, I was surprised. You picked Rockvale on this one. But Nolensville had a close first half, but they end up getting beat 15-33. Nolensville scored the first touchdown of the game. Kobe Walton to Dylan Northcutt for a touchdown. Walton ends up 15 for 30, 200 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Listen, Nolensville is going to have to find some offense finishing up the season.
Well, yeah, and they got to find a way to stop the run too. That's kind of been their Achilles heel.
1A and 1B in terms of what they need.
Yeah. Now, nobody I trust more than Coach Darrin, but if we don't fix that run, it's going to be tough. And don't. Rockville's won 4 in a row now.
Right.
I mean, they're not 4 in a row, but they had won. They were undefeated, and then they got beat by Riverdale. They're a good football team. I think they're 5-1 right now, and only lost to Riverdale. So, but still, until we figure that out, it's going to be tough.
But still, a ton to play for.
Yes.
It's only one region loss.
That's right. That's not Columbia.
So
Correct.
So
and Columbia is probably about to get a region loss. So, yeah, we're still in it. We just got to figure it out.
Ravenwood, big shootout amongst really two of the best 6A teams in Middle Tennessee. Literally, the game went back and forth.
Yes.
Ravenwood scores the first touchdown, and it's back and forth. Ravenwood wins at Hendersonville 35-28. Chris Parson scored the winning touchdown with 10:43 left on a 19-yard run. He ends up with 340 yards of total offense, 3 passing, 1 rushing TD, and he used 6 different receivers. That's something I've noticed about this Ravenwood team. There's a lot of different weapons. They're throwing it to different people. They've got pace back there in the backfield. I'm telling you, it's another take what they give you.
Oh, no doubt about it. And he's really playing at a high level. And you notice who one of those TD receptions was to.
Our man, Miles Pollard.
Yeah. He's starting to get involved in the offensive side, another weapon. But, yeah, I mean, I think we knew this was going to be a good game. Hendersonville's good. They can score points. You know, Coach Hester told us after the game, Torrin Baker, number 25, legitimate running back, man. Real guy. You know, they had 2 guys that can take it to the house, and Ellis Ellis and Torrin Baker. So I think they beat a really, really good football team. And
they could play again.
They could. That's exactly right.
I'll tell you this, though, and this goes into our next game, Summit. They took care of another Sumner County team. Beach came to visit. It was 39-7. But I'm telling you this, and listen, this isn't the Sumner County show, but obviously my 10th favorite team. would be Beach, because
Yes.
we got our 9, and
Yes.
Coach Crabtree does a great job. I think Beach beats Hendersonville in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I do. They play, let me tell you, Summit.
It was close.
It was close early, and you got to give Summit credit now. It's 13-7, I believe it was, as the half was coming to an end, less than a minute. John Dippold gets a interception for Summit. Now they get the ball back. Then we go Destin Wade, kind of a broken play to Keaton Wade. It was unbelievable, the score they had. They scored to go up 19-7, and after that, they rolled. Yep. That's a good Beach team that Summit beat, no doubt about it. It wasn't like, oh, they just played somebody couldn't play. Summit, I'm telling you, is playing great.
Oh, they're playing lights out. And then, when you put number 1 and number 7 in the backfield together, you got some dang problems, And he's throwing the ball better. Did he have? He had 4 passing TDs, didn't he?
Yeah. That's right. He had 3 to Brady Pierce. And by the way, Brady only caught 3 passes, all touchdowns.
Hey, I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're playing at a high level. And I don't even think they've really scratched the surface of what they're going to do with Keaton at the running back position. But he keeps throwing like that. We already know what he can do running it. And you've got, I don't know. I'm with you. I'm surprised Beach kept it as close as they did in the first half.
Brady Pierce, we mentioned those 3 receptions, 108 yards. And I really feel like with Summit, and maybe this is true of Ravenwood too, you're starting to see it with Pollard. As the season progresses, you're going to see they're going to be even tougher to stop offensively in the playoffs, because you are going to see different guys, including Keaton, being a lot more. And he's already been involved in the offense, but I think you're going to see it more and more. Pick your poison there. What are you going to do?
You have to stop number 1. In my opinion, if you're going to let number 1 run around and beat you, you stand no chance. Like, you got to take him out of the game. You have to.
Yes.
Don't let him beat you. Hey, I'll tell you another thing that we keep forgetting about is how mature this team is, right? Did you notice the orange on orange?
It's great.
Well, you haven't seen that in a while, and there's a reason why. Coach Coleman, about 3 years ago, vowed that every time they wore something orange, somebody got hurt. He vowed, you'll never see orange here again, ever. And so when I saw that on Twitter, that caught me off guard a little bit. And
it looked good.
it looks great, but he believed there was a jinx. What I'm trying to say is they came to him, the seniors came to him, Coach, we really want to wear orange on orange. And that's how much he trusts this team. Because 3 years ago, he vowed, you'll never see it again.
Well, I'd say that jinx is over.
It's over.
Tate, as we finish up here, as always, we're going to talk a little pick'ems. Listen.
Anything happened last week?
Listen, the fans and myself and Dr. Qualls, we had a good week. We were all 7-1. But you had a great week, Tate. You were 8-0. You're starting to distance yourself a little bit. You have 34 wins. Dr. Qualls, 32. I have 31. The fans have 30. Keep voting out there. WCS CO Athletics on Twitter. But I got to make some moves now. We're coming up on week 7. I've got to make some stuff happen. Maybe this is the week.
It could be. Hey, there's some tough games on here.
Some tough games in here. All right, I'm going to let you start this week.
Okay.
The first game is Brentwood at Indy. And listen, I think we all would agree this one is going to go a long way towards the playoffs. If Indy wins this game, no question they're top 3.
Yes.
No question. Brentwood wins it, it kind of clouds it up a little bit. So this is one they seem to always play a couple of times. They play in the regular season. They play again in the playoffs. I know the playoff system's a little bit different this year. But this is always a good game, and I think about that one last year. Brentwood makes it all the way to the final, but maybe Indy makes it if it wasn't for that unbelievable play by Granzow.
No doubt about it.
I was standing right there. It was so incredible watching it on video. It was more impressive live.
Whenever they get together, it's a great game. Now, a little bit different. The cast has changed a little bit.
Yes.
Now it's Finch Blade instead of Crawford Blade, or Blade Finch, however you all want to say it. But this is a tough game.
You're picking this one first. Brentwood at Indy. What are you doing?
I don't think Independence has lost a game they shouldn't have lost.
I agree.
Brentwood, I think, should have won the Blackman game. We'd like to have that one back. But outside of that, I don't know that they've lost a game that they should have lost. I'm going, this is tough. I'm going with the Bruins. And Dash, now look, buddy, you don't have to tweet me, okay? I know.
Don't at me.
Don't pick against the Blade Runner. I get it. But I'm going Brentwood.
Listen, I've got to be different here.
I know where you're going.
I'm not saying I wouldn't have picked it this way, but if nothing else, I've got to do it to be different. Listen, I'm going Indy Nation. I think Indy's a little bit, I think they're underrated because of that record. 3-3.
Is this one safe to say I pick them really seriously?
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
And you know Dr. Quall's going to pick Indy.
Oh,
I mean,
no
so
doubt.
I got to find one to pick different than him too. Okay, so you have Indy. The next one, Battle of Frank.
I have Brentwood.
But back up. You have Brentwood, I have Indy.
Yes.
Sorry. Brentwood, Indy. All right, I'll pick next. This is the Battle of Franklin. It's also the WCTV Game of the Week, Centennial Franklin. And by the way, I forgot to mention this earlier. Let's take a look at the WCTV Play of the Week.
Out of the pistol again goes Wade. Motion from right to left. Wade's back to pass. Pressure coming from his left. Wide open man downfield. That is easy pickings right there. Okay. We are going to bring in the big fella, and we are going to run the football.
They've switched a little hurry up.
So here you can see his brother actually stays back in pass protection.
Got him.
Wade's going deep. And again, a deep bomb. That is to Brady Pierce again. You have the Wade brothers back there. Takes the snap, looking deep, scanning the field, rolls out, 48 in his face, dumps it off to his brother. Has some room, going across the field. This could be trouble. Touchdown, Keaton Wade. Wade to Wade. That is a common theme. Single back. Wade takes the snap, looking. Has some field in front of him. He's going to run. He has a lot of space. Cuts to the outside. This could be trouble. Wade breaks a tackle, and he is in the end zone for pay dirt. Single back is Hollis. Wade takes the snap. Looking downfield. Has a man in the middle. That's going to be his go-to guy who's going to go to the end zone. Brady Pierce, third touchdown on the night.
Well, there you have it, the Destin Wade, Brady Pierce show. Hey, by the way, just in case you're wondering, that's all the same game.
It's incredible. All right, so anyway, back to the Battle of Franklin, the WCTV Game of the Week. I'll pick first Centennial versus Franklin. I think it's safe to say the loser of this game's out of the playoffs.
Yes.
You have to win this game to make the playoffs. Listen, it's been back and forth for Centennial. I said early in the season I thought that game with Brentwood at the end of the year would matter for Centennial. I'm going with Coach Kreisky and Centennial.
Wow. This is another one that's really, really tough because I do think it's that even. I think Franklin's getting better. But I'm going to go with you. I think Centennial's got a little more weapons. The Cougars, Coach Kreisky, make sure the parking's clearly labeled.
Fairview at White House. Now listen,
Tough one.
two undefeated teams in that region, both sitting at 3-0. It's the second week in a row that Fairview's traveling to White House, but not the Robertson side. It'll be in the Sumner side. Fairview at White House. Who you got, Tate?
Well, we're right up there by Sad Sam's again. I didn't know a whole lot about White House until I saw some highlights in that Waverly game. I think Fairview's playing really, really well, man. I think that quarterback's really tough to stop for White House. So I was going to pick White House. But the more I think about it, I think this Fairview team's playing really, really good. I like what they got going with Claxton. And Grant, I think Coach Hughes finds a way to Rainin Blackburn, I believe is his name. You have to stop Rainin Blackburn. I think Coach Hughes does. I'm going with the Yellow Jackets.
I agree. I'm going Fairview. All right, next game. Nolensville versus Spring Hill. It's back to region play. And yes, Nolo, this is get well game. Without question, Nolensville gets the win.
This is not only get well. This is get well, ride home on a boat, get well. The Knights. My man Sampson, minimum 3 touchdowns.
And so is there a body of water that Coach Darrin can get on after the game?
I think he's pretty big on, his family's from, or his wife's family's from Alabama. I think they're down there on, I don't know, Wilson Lake, maybe Lake Gunnersville, something like that.
Hey, another big one in the region. And listen, it's not over for Nolensville yet either, but now, like the Fairview game, we've got 2 undefeated teams playing in the region. Columbia had a big win over Nolensville a couple of weeks ago, 30-7. Page didn't play last week. Page is hosting Columbia. Who you got, Tate?
Page Patriots, 6-0. Coach Bone in the driver's seat.
I agree. Page.
That was a no-brainer.
Page is rolling. All right, final game, and it's my turn to pick. Game day is heading to Ravenwood Summit. This is the first time I think we've gotten off script a little bit in terms of the games that we're going to, but listen, we had to go to this one. Not only is the section, the Summit squad, been hollering at you and sending you messages, you got to come out here. We made that announcement last week at the end of the beach game. Listen, this is probably the best game in the state this week.
It is the best game in the state.
Ravenwood at Summit. So here's all I'm going to say. I don't necessarily think who wins this one is going to win twice, because I think they're going to play twice this year. But they might. We'll see when we get to that time. It's home field. It's the move to 6A. It's Destin Wade. It's Keaton Wade. It's Brady Pierce. It's Danny Bourne. It's Chad Kirby. It's Sarah Lamb. It's going to be tight, but in the regular season at least, I'm going with Old Sparty.
Old Sparty. All right, now, I got a question for you here. Not a question, I got a statement. I think I've been on record as saying the best game day we've ever had was at Ravenwood. We got there at 6 o'clock, and from the middle of that press box, wherever the line is, over, top to bottom, it was full. And they were the rowdiest, the loudest, the most involved game day we've ever had, ever. Not even close, really, in my opinion. I think this one will top it. I think the Summit, what do they call them? The Summit Squad?
The Summit Squad, yes.
I think this is going to be nuts. You better turn the volume up in the headphones, because I think they're going to get it. But I think Ravenwood wins the football game.
There's always a villain at game day.
I'm going to get, and I already know they're coming, and I can already tell you who they're coming from. Greatest game day environment ever, but I think Ravenwood wins.
Well, I'm glad you went that route, because we've got at least 2. I got 2 chances to catch you.
There could be
here.
some separation today.
Got 2 chances to catch you. We'll see how it goes. Great football games this week. I think this is the best matchups of the year so far.
Oh, I think yes. All of them except one. I think are going to be really good football games. Maybe Page is about a 10, but the rest of them are going to be close. They're going to be good. I also can't wait to see how many people are at this Summit Ravenwood game. I know this. Mrs. Lamb and Coach Kirby are going to be real happy when they start getting those ticket sales totals in. And
That's right.
Concession stand. It's going to be big.
It's going to be big. Looking forward to it, Tate.
Can't wait, brother. Game day.
Game day back.
T-shirt cannon going to be there?
Most definitely. Have to dial it down a little bit.
Did you have to get like
dial it back a little bit?
a carrier permit, or did you have to get a license to operate that thing?
Well, don't tell anybody. I don't want to have to do that.
It's pretty awesome.
Looking forward to it, Tate. Thank you for joining us for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.